It would appear as if 343 has just given us some rather unfortunate news about Halo Infinite regarding, well, I guess the state the game's going to be in at launch, if you want to put it that way, as two game modes will be missing when the game releases, these game modes being Campaign Co-op and Forge. As they've 100% committed to releasing the game this holiday, it appears these two beloved classic Halo features will not be in the game at launch, but will be added in later on down the line. This is supposedly to give 343 time to focus on getting the single player campaign and multiplayer finished in time for the holiday release, but I think it's fair to say that the reaction has been that they're just not going to be shipping a finished game, are they? So, Halo Infinite is now due to launch with the single player mode and Season 1 of multiplayer, and apparently the co-op campaign will release around Season 2 of multiplayer, and Forge will release around Season 3. I did a bit of googling to find out how long these seasons will last, and it seems they're going to last around 3 months each. So if Campaign Co-op is going to release around Season 2, that could be anywhere from 3 months after launch to 6 months after launch, and Forge could be releasing anywhere from 6 months after launch to 9 months after launch. With the game releasing towards the end of this year, that means we're not going to see either of these game modes until 2022, which is definitely a shame, and I'm also really confused as to why a game that doesn't have a confirmed release date itself as of yet is so committed to releasing unfinished. Don't get me wrong, on the opposite end it would also be a massive shame to see this game pushed back into 2022 like literally everything else, but if it takes that time to ship a finished product including Campaign Co-op and Forge, then I don't see the harm in doing so necessarily. It's not like you can magic up a finished game out of nowhere, and the game will be received far better with these features in at launch, is the truth of it, especially when it comes to pleasing your long-time Halo fans, who have seen these modes be a constant in Halo games up until this point. But I think the campaign and multiplayer on its own could definitely be recognised as feeling a little bare. You want the meat of Halo, and that's the fun of playing the campaign with your friends or playing Forge, and while these things are coming and will happen, it just strikes me as a little bit odd that they're not going to be there at launch to commit to a release date that hasn't actually officially been confirmed yet. I suppose it's weighed up with Microsoft wanting to push out an exclusive, and from what I played of the Halo Infinite flight test a few weeks back, it's definitely a good, enjoyable time, but I feel like this news is going to disappoint a lot of fans of the franchise and also be devastating for the initial reception of Halo Infinite when it does launch, presumably around November-December time. Don't get me wrong, Forge is cool, but I believe the game mode that's going to be missed the most at launch is certainly going to be the campaign co-op, which has been backseated for the time being due to the fact that they've shifted the campaign and how, that plays out. Instead of being a linear experience, now it's rather open and non-linear, which I don't understand why Halo's gone down that route to begin with, but that's a topic for another video that I can't be asked making. And so this much more flexible campaign approach has complicated the process of implementing campaign co-op. Now, I don't understand why they need to take a more open approach to the campaign in the first place. Linear has always worked just fine for Halo, and I always find when more linear games try to go down a more open path, you end up with a lot of nothing objectives and just wasting time. So I'm not really surprised that it's likely to wreak more havoc than it's worth, and one such example of that is campaign co-op has to take a backseat until after launch because the entire approach to how Halo's campaign functions has been shifted up, and I'm honestly not sold on whether or not that'll work, and I'm sure a lot of players will find themselves in a similar boat and see, was this worth the hassle? And in the end, will the answer be yes? Only time will tell. But right now, looking in, if campaign co-op has to take a back seat for it, the answer's looking like a no. As for Forge, I don't understand what the issues are with that. It's likely a time thing, what with the pandemic and all that. What I don't understand is why this game has to be out this year if that's going to compromise it being a complete package on launch. Instead of temporarily cutting out beloved game modes to fit a release date, why not just push the release date back, considering one hasn't really been announced yet, and finish the game before you launch it? Because in my experience, when games release unfinished and features are being cut out, even if temporarily just to fit a release date, they're likely not the only issues that are presently on the table. My grander point being, if you don't have enough time to finish the game, take the time to finish the game rather than finish the game afterwards, when the damage of it not being finished on launch may already have been done. It's probably tiresome to hear that be said, especially considering everything is being delayed until 2022 at this point, but if that is the way that it has to be, then there's no real dancing around it, and dancing around it is what causes more issues in the long run. I doubt the absence of campaign co-op on Forge on launch is going to do Halo Infinite any favours. It's probably going to be somewhat detrimental to how the game is received, and therefore how the game sells, but I suppose we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Brings us to the end of this short video, I suppose, so thank you all for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, share the channel with your friends and all that wonderful stuff. That'd be super fantastic. Don't forget to let me know your thoughts down in the comments section, and I also left a sneaky arbiter somewhere in this video for you to go back and find. If you do find him, be sure to comment the timestamp down in the comments, and give yourself one of those pats on the back, because you've earned it. And with any luck, I'll be seeing you all very soon with another video at some point, but until next time, take care, and goodbye.